So, yeah, we want to welcome Keyleigh Hurst from the Clydesiders to this wee podcast today. We're going to talk about the agenda for May, a heritage agenda, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the Our Stories Heritage Festival in West Dunbartonshire.
Okay.
hmm
What brought that about?
It really came about. Clydeside has been involved in a few heritage projects over the years, including yourself. We've had the Take a Minute films, which I'm sure folk will have seen on Facebook, and they've been really popular. And we really just wanted to do something to have an opportunity to bring together all the great heritage things that are happening across Western Bartonshire. There's so many amazing pieces of heritage, as you know yourself, doing this podcast and the
Yeah.
videos. And I think we thought when we were planning it, May is local and community history month, so it's a great opportunity. Hopefully the weather's quite nice.
And there's no midges yet in May.
No, true. Aye, that's very
Yeah.
important. And I think we thought when we were planning it, we thought, first year we'll maybe get 10, 12, 15 events across the month or something like that. Just a great way to showcase local heritage.
Yeah.
The response from organisations and groups has been fantastic. It's been overwhelming. So we've actually ended up with 48 events.
48 events in
Yeah.
31 days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
there's something happening every day in May this year. So
Wow.
we're so really grateful for everyone who's been part of it and wanted to be part of this first festival, first time we're doing it. But hopefully, it's something that we can be repeated. But I think it just shows the passion that's out there and the interest that folk have and want to share that with people.
I mean, yeah, my background is zoology, but just over the last few years, history and heritage has been top of my agenda. It's really interesting. I think the older you get, in my case anyway, the more you want to appreciate where you came from.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so what you got, for example? I know it starts the 1st of May.
Yeah.
I think there may be some films that night.
That's right. Yeah, we're kicking things off with a film screening in Old Kilpatrick. So we've got a new series of the Take a Minute films, and they're all about local community activists across West Dunbartonshire. So Clydeside has been doing, as well as planning the Heritage Festival, we've been doing a project all about community activism and trying to capture some of those stories of people way back in the day, right up to the present day, who've been influential in the communities.
Well, certainly, and it's been interesting. I've found out about some people that I never knew about myself by doing the films. And it's not just me doing them, there's a couple other people presenting them as well.
That's right. We've got Florence Boyle, who's really active in local heritage as well, and she's telling some stories of the women of West Dunbartonshire, some really inspiring stories actually, and folk people might not be that familiar with, so great opportunity to tell those stories.
And there's one in particular, I think I've done about a dozen of them. I don't know how many there are in total, maybe 15 or
15,
something.
That's right, yeah.
So, but there's the one that really stuck out for me was Margaret Harrison, because I knew Margaret, and she went to the same, she was like an auntie to me almost, and I got all my bites from Bobby, her husband, when we grew up. So she was, but I didn't realise when I knew her at the time in the 70s, the 60s even, how involved she was in the CND and Fast Lane and all that thing, and how she really kicked off the Fast Lane peace camp and things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I found out more about Margaret than I did for a knew her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just looking back the way, it was an interesting journey to discover more about her. But there's
That's
so many people, like you said, that have had an influence on not only here, but on slavery, and all different things, all different rent strikes and things that happened in Clydebank, and there's so many things that hopefully people will find those films interesting. And what else have we got after that?
So there's all sorts of things. So there's loads of guided walks happening. So if you want the chance to go out and maybe go visit a place you've not been to before, there's walks up at the Cocknow Estate, up to the Cowbeth Huts up in the hills. You can do a walk on Dunbarton High Street, which to the untrained eye might not look that special, but actually full of history.
There's lots there,
yeah, it's great. Yourself, you're doing a walk for us in Dalmuir, or you can go down to the Havoc Meadows in Dumbarton, a really lovely place with lots of special wildlife and plants. There are loads of walks. There's some workshops if folk want to do something a bit more interactive. So Community Links done a heritage project around the history of Clydebank, and they've created a fabric out of that, so you can go along to one of their sessions in May and make yourself a cushion cover or a tote bag out of this lovely fabric they've created. Or you can come along and join us. We've been doing a bit of a project with Isaro through in Whitecrook. Again, inspired by local activists of the area, they've created a banner that's inspired by these beautiful banners that trade unions and guilds and things would use. They created their own version of that, so you can come have a look at that and have a go at creating something yourself. Or if you're more active, you can go along to Skylark 9. They've got some rowing taster sessions.
Where's that going to be?
So they're doing one up on the loch at Loch Lomond, and then one outside the Denny Tank Museum on dry land. So if you're not a water baby, you can go and have a wee go
on dry land.
Yeah,
sounds okay.
Great opportunity.
Yeah.
So there are loads of talks happening. You mentioned Margaret Harrison. So Mary Irvin, who's a local writer, she's just written a biography of Margaret.
A great book. Yeah, I've just got it actually.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, good. Advance preview. She's going to be launching that officially.
Yeah, I had a look at that. It's a great story, and she's done a great bit of research into Margaret's life.
So that'll be great. There's other things happening around. It's the Agnes Owens centenary, so she was obviously a famous writer from the Vale. It would have been her 100th birthday this year, so there's lots of things happening, and we're doing an event in West Dunbartonshire to celebrate her too. So there's talks happening, there's workshops, guided walks, there's an exhibition, another part of the activism project. We've been working with volunteers to create a photography exhibition. So that'll be travelling round. It'll be in Lomond Galleries, in Leaven Grove Park, and then in Clydebank Town Hall for 6 weeks. And there'll be some well-kent faces in there, but again, other folk that people might not be so familiar with, and you can go and find out their stories and hopefully be inspired.
And I'm noticing this little brochure here. So is this like an agenda?
Yeah, programme for the
festival. Where can people get this?
So we've been putting it in libraries, in supermarkets, all around West Dunbartonshire.
Look out for this, guys. Look at your library and pick up a copy for a full agenda, really fully packed and well planned month of May, which will be very busy for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely. But it'll be fun.
It should be fun, and it's so good that we're celebrating heritage, and thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks
Just
so much,
give us a flavour of it, and thanks to the Clydesider as well for everything they do in that vein, in that zone of heritage for West Dunbartonshire. It's really, I think, highlighted the area in a big way.
Thanks so much, Paul.
So,
thanks for having me on. Cheers.
Go to Clydesider TV and follow them on Facebook and Instagram too.